I am absolutely buzzing with what released just about an hour and a half ago. I am absolutely stoked to, no pun intended, I'm not going to carry on with that. Yeah, we're back in, we're locked in now. We are absolutely locked in. I cannot wait after the most recent teaser for Avengers Doomsday, featuring none other than the X-Men. I was very close to doing this on Lego Marvel, just so I could play with, Magneto, Professor X, Cyclops. Only 3 characters in that teaser, and by God, they were more than enough to get me absolutely buzzing for Doomsday. That, in my opinion, was possibly the best teaser released, which is huge in my opinion, because I love Steve Rogers, I love Thor, but we know they are coming back into action soon. With the return of Endgame. But the X-Men, in particular with, I don't know why this is so laggy, I do apologise. With the return of the X-Men, particularly X-Men we've not seen for years, over 12 years at this point, particularly with Ian McKellen as Magneto and James Marsden as Cyclops. I cannot wait to see them back. I don't know why the billboard in Times Square that are playing the Doomsday teasers are so laggy, so I'm just going to talk about this without actually watching it, which is probably not the best idea, but oh well, we move. I can't wait. Like, I genuinely cannot wait. This movie is going to blow my mind. It already is blowing my mind. I think it is quite possibly going to be the best Marvel movie of all time. Possibly. I think Endgame is my favourite film ever made, but I think Doomsday could very well become the best Marvel movie if it's done right, which I have a strong feeling it will. A lot of people were scared after the Electric State, because obviously that was the Russo brothers' most recent project, and apparently it wasn't that good. I've not seen the Electric State, so I can't say much, but you got to bear in mind that the Russo brothers, they know the Marvel Universe, they understand the Marvel Universe. They have made 4 of the biggest films, one of which is the second biggest film ever made in history. So, in my opinion, I think the Electric State has absolutely nothing to do with Doomsday. I still stand by my thoughts on the marketing strat for Doomsday. I think it's very Oppenheimer-esque with the countdown, and I like that, but, doing movie-exclusive trailers knowing they're just going to leak, in my opinion, is quite dumb. I'm not the biggest fan of this game is going awful. I've not actually killed anyone, that is awful. There you are, we got some kills now. We got some kills, this is going awful. But, yeah, I genuinely think that we're off to an amazing start with these teasers. The Steve Rogers one, I'm glad it showed nothing, All we learned is that he's got a baby, and it was just confirming that he's definitely back. Chris Evans was omitted from the trailer or the chair announcement, so I'm absolutely fine with the fact he's not actually going to be in. He wasn't in that, and he is going to be in the film. I don't expect him to have a big part. I genuinely don't expect him to have a major role in Doomsday. I think he'll have a good role. I think, if anything, his proper return will be in Secret Wars. But Doomsday is stacked, and seeing the X-Men, I want to see more X-Men in this film. I want the X-Men to take a substantial portion of the film. In fact, I want a few X-Men to survive and go into Secret Wars. I think Patrick Stewart's monologue was gorgeous, and it's quite bittersweet knowing this could be his final performance. It could be his final job before he retires, and if that is the case, what film to go out on, because honestly, Doomsday has been a delight to see grow, and I absolutely love what we got with with that teaser. It was, for me, that was enough. Like, I can honestly be happy now not seeing a full trailer. Like, those 3 snippets, you know, we saw Doctor Doom in the post-credit scenes of the Fantastic Four. You know, that, in my opinion, was just, it was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. I loved it. I think we're in for a massive hit here, and hopefully it'll be even bigger than Endgame. Like, hopefully. But yeah, I really want to see how you know, the X-Men will integrate with the Sacred Timeline Avengers. Bearing in mind you've got to mix in the Fantastic Four and their world. You've got to, you know, sort of reintroduce characters we haven't seen for a while. You know, particularly Thor, Shang-Chi. How do we pick back up with them? Black Panther. How do we pick back up with them quickly? I'm hoping the film doesn't spend too long doing that, but also kind of establish, you know, where everyone is at with the film. Oh, we've actually picked this back round. That's good. I don't want to jinx anything, but oh wow, we've actually seen to pick it back round. But yeah, like, honestly, I love that teaser so much. The monologue, Cyclops' suit is incredible. That suit is honestly, it's another example of the costume design department just leveling up. I don't know who took over the costume department in the MCU, but they've never been better. You know, we're talking Wolverine suit, Steve Rogers' Endgame suit, all the Endgame suits in my opinion. I think the Endgame suits for the original 6 are the best. That they are the best that the Marvel suit designs have ever been. We're probably going to lose this, but oh well. But Cyclops' suit is just, it's insane. Honestly, that suit it's just breathtakingly good. And obviously, seeing the Sentinels in the background and Scott, you know, taking off his eyepiece and letting out a massive optic blast. It's insane. It's so cool. Makes me want to see him in Rivals even more now. Although to be fair, I wanted him in Rivals to begin with. Like, that was a no-brainer. He's coming to Rivals, obviously. Gene's in it. He's already been basically shown at the wedding between Rogue and Gambit. He's coming to the game. There's no question about it. But it's just so cool to see him back in action, particularly with James Marsden. Hopefully, he is going to be done justice, because he's an awesome character. You know, Scott Summers is a great character, and the movies didn't do him that justice. I understand that, you know, Hugh Jackman was such a massive risk, and they really wanted to push him to, you know, show that he can do it, and he has. You know, Hugh Jackman, in my opinion, is one of, if not the best, Marvel casting ever in the nearly 30 years of Wolverine and the X-Men and the MCU. It was like, of all that time, I think he has more than solidified himself as the X-Man. You know, they made a point of that in Deadpool and Wolverine. However, I want to see the X-Men rise. I want to see them, you know, I want to see them come back with a vengeance, because they are incredible characters. You know, I think X-Men 97 really did highlight what the X-Men can be, and I just think they are, you know, they're so cool. My only worry with the X-Men is that they really do, I don't think they align the best with today's sort of society, because all the bigots and I don't want to get too political here, but all the bigots and the arseholes that, you know, cry about something being quote-unquote woke don't understand the whole point of the X-Men. They are an allegory for, you know, for bigotry and discrimination, and what they, you know, they rise against oppression, they rise against, you know, discrimination. I love the X-Men. They represent so much in the world, and unfortunately I just don't think today's society really understands that. And it's a shame, because in my opinion the X-Men are the best for that. They are the best, you know, superhero group to really represent that message and that meaning. And it sucks that people don't get it. But with that being said, we're seeing the X-Men back in quite possibly the best way. You know, a film of this magnitude really does need all hands on deck, and I think, you know, particularly with that was good. Particularly with Doctor Doom and his sort of, you know, presence. I do hope that the balancing is there. I think that's going to be the biggest thing that people worry. Even if they get it right, I still feel like because of the vastness of this cast, you're going to get characters that get more screen time than others, and that is going to piss people off who want to see more of a character. Like, for example, I love, like, Thor is one of my favourites, but then at the same time I love Magneto, particularly Ian McKellen's Magneto. So if either of them get less screen time than, say, the likes of, I don't know, Shang-Chi, someone that is quite new, and I want to see more of those older characters, then I'm not going to be upset, because I like Shang-Chi, but, you know, I prefer seeing more screen time of this character or that one. But at the same time, you know, I'm open to seeing what they're going to do. I just want a great story, and I think, you know, the X-Men being here and what they stand for, I'm hoping that they, you know, they really stand for, you know, they come back with a vengeance. Because I love these characters. They are some of the best characters in Marvel's roster. And I'm going to be honest, I think Hugh Jackman should be omitted from just this one film. Much like an Ant-Man and Hawkeye situation in Avengers Infinity War. I don't think everyone needs to be here yet. I think Secret Wars is the film to have everyone fight together. You know, all the Avengers, all the X-Men, all the Fantastic Four, all the Spider Society. I think that's the film to do it. Doomsday, in my opinion, should be a cataclysmic event that sees everyone lose but fight their absolute hardest, you know? I think Doomsday really should be a war of a film. It shouldn't be the final battle. It should be, you know, the beginning of the end for the Marvel Multiverse as we know it. I think Secret Wars is the one to have that, where you have, you know, Hugh Jackman and James Marsden side by side one more time, when you have, you know, the three Spider-Men back together for one last time before Toby and Andrew's characters retire. You know, I think there's so many characters that the film needs to balance. I just don't think everyone has to be here for Doomsday. I think you can miss out some people in Doomsday, and it will still be one of the best films going. There's obviously some characters I'd like to see take the lead one last time. Particularly for me, I'd like to see the original six take the lead. Obviously Natasha and Clint, I doubt they'll be involved, because obviously Natasha's dead and she died quite permanently. Iron Man is, I feel like we're not going to see in the flesh. Obviously with RDJ coming back as Doctor Doom, there is the slight possibility that we could get an AI Iron Man as well. But, you know, that depends what they want to do. I don't think they're going to do that story where Tony uploaded his subconscious into an Iron Man AI. Or they could do, I don't know. But at the same time, I don't want them to downplay the stakes of Endgame, you know. I'd love to see Natasha back. It's like a flashback, maybe Yelena hallucinates her, maybe Yelena nearly dies and she sees Natasha, and, you know, and it's Natasha like telling her to get back up and fight. I think that'd be a gorgeous scene. You know, I'd be happy with that. Obviously, I'd love to see Natasha interact with Steve. I am a big friendship stan of Steve and Nat. I think their friendship really does mean something for particularly male and female best mates that don't have any sort of romantic feelings. I think the platonicness, platonicity, I don't know the word, but the nature of Steve Rogers and Natasha Romanoff's friendship is something you know, they were best mates. I think they understood each other more than a lot of the other Avengers could. I mean, other than Hawkeye, I feel like Steve understood Natasha the most, and maybe vice versa as well. You know, I absolutely adore the friendship between those two, and I would absolutely love to see them back together again. They are just amazing. You know, I could talk about Steve and that all day, but we're not talking about Steve and that. We're talking about the X-Men. I think for the X-Men, I know, you know, I don't want to contradict what I said. I think there are some X-Men we need to at least hear about. You know, maybe not see them, but definitely have an update on where they're at. Because, for example, we've got the legendary James Martin back as Scott Son of Cyclops. However, where's Jean? You know, where's Jean? Where's Aurora? These characters are huge. You know, both Omega level mutants. I feel like Doom would want to get them out of the way because they could cause a lot of problems for him. You know, bearing in mind he's got Sentry, he's got Thor to deal with. He's got issues to face, Dumas. I feel like Jean Grey and Aurora Monroe would be big problems for him. So I really hope that they address where they are if they don't actually appear in the film. You know, I'd love to see Jean Grey back. I thought Svante Janssen did an excellent job as Jean Grey in the movies. I think she was one of those that, you know, she really did get her chance to shine, particularly in The Last Stand. I know The Last Stand wasn't great. It wasn't perfect. I think it had some cool moments, you know, like the bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge. But truthfully, I think the writing and the script for The Last Stand wasn't great. Especially the way they handled Cyclops. I just think they should have, rather than killing him off like that, I think they should have just reduced his role, or have him, like, you know, lock in at the very end when they could work around James Martin's, you know, scheduling. Oh, what the hell? What happened with that? That's well annoying. That's bullshit. Shoot. But yeah, I cannot wait to see those guys back. I think having Ian McKellen back is one thing. Patrick Stewart, I really hope Charles doesn't die. You know, I really hope he doesn't die. If he does die, then maybe a Rogue One style ending where the universe gets eradicated and he goes peacefully. Because we've seen Charles have so many, like, violent deaths now. It's like, how much more can the guy take? I'd love to see, like, a peaceful retirement for him. Because, you know, Patrick Stewart has given so much to the character for, you know, nearly 30 years. Like, if this is the end of Charles Xavier, Professor X, then please give him a satisfying conclusion, because he's such an awesome character. You know, he is honestly, he's the heart of the X-Men. I know Wolverine is the X-Man, but in my opinion, Professor X is the heart and soul of the X-Men. However, with that, I'm very conflicted about something. We waited 11 years to hear Steve Rogers say Avengers Assemble, and that was the greatest scene in the entire MCU. However, someone needs to say to me my X-Men. And for me, I don't know which one I'd like more. I think I'd be happy either or if it was Charles or Scott that say to me my X-Men. I think part of me,
just like the moon,
slightly leans more towards Charles. I think Scott saying it would be amazing as it would be a homage to episode 1 of X-Men 97 when he said it in that gorgeous scene. You know, I think that would be a gorgeous little payoff to the best animated show Marvel has put out. You know, that particular one was just breathtakingly good. Right, change my hero. Let's go Jean. We're playing the X-Men here. We might as well have the X-Men. We're talking about the X-Men. We might have to play him. Maybe not the best call. Maybe not the best call. But oh well. Part of me wants to hear Charles say it, just because you know it is the final. I mean, this is most likely going to be James Marsden's last run as Cyclops as well. But you got to remember that this could be Patrick Stewart's last ever acting gig. You know, he could be done for good after this. You know, and given what he's done. From stage and screen, all the characters he's played, all the stories he's told, I just think he needs to get this moment. He needs this moment, you know. Nearly 30 years of payoff as the leader of the X-Men. He's got to do it. It's got to happen. You know, I think it's time that he gets his dues, you know. It's got to be Charles. If it is Scott, I won't be upset. I won't be upset. I think I would appreciate personally Charles doing it and saying the line. I mean, it is a line at the end of the day. Like, for me, I felt the same way with Avengers Assemble. Like, I didn't mind if it was Tony who says it or Steve. It made more sense for Steve to say it being the leader of the Avengers. But at the same time, Tony was the one who set up, who you know, started the Infinity Saga. He started the MCU. So it made no difference to me who says it, as long as it was said. I think the same has to happen here. You know? I honestly wouldn't mind if we get, rather than having a reprise of the line Avengers Assemble, if they omit it from Doomsday, bring it back for Secret Wars, and then, because it is the line. It's like when a Jedi says, you know, the Force is with me, or may the Force be with you. It's such a holy line, because it unites everyone, it brings everyone together, and it's just. You know, I love the line, and particularly accompanying it with the Avengers theme. Imagine, you know, Charles says to me, my X-Men, and the live action, and the, you know, we get the like X-Men '97, like the X-Men theme, you know, the one from like the animated series X-Men '97, and then, you know, I mean, it could be the John Ottman theme as well for the 2000 films. But at the same time, I wouldn't, you know, I'm just happy either or. I just want to hear the theme. I absolutely love, oh, that was a shittle. I absolutely love the theme. It's so cool. Oh god, come on, die. Come on, Gambit, die. And that's the thing, I'm kind of glad they didn't show Gambit. I don't know, I feel like they've got to do some explaining with that. I know someone let him out the boys, I don't know who did. And it was with a sling ring portal, so unless the 1005 universe, oh, we lost that, oh well. Unless someone from the 1005 universe is a sorcerer, I doubt someone from the X-Men let Gambit out the void. With that, I want to know where everyone else went, because X-23 went back with Logan from the end of Deadpool and Wolverine. Elektra, I don't know where she went. Blade, I don't know where he went. And we know Gambit's coming back. Hopefully they explain that. Just because I want to see those. I mean, I want to see Blade again. Elektra is a freaking badass, you know, she's a legend. But yeah, there's so many cool things I'd love to see brought back in Doomsday. But for most, like the X-Men, this is their moment now. This is where the X-Men really do come back for one last adventure. Yeah, we'll go Tony, leader of the Avengers, but yeah, well, one of them. Steve is obviously the main leader. Well, let's be real here. But yeah, to me, Scott will always feel like the on-foot leader. I really hope we get some really cool scenes between Scott Summers and Anthony Mackie. Oh, sorry, James Marsden and Anthony Mackie. If it was with Steve Rogers, then that would be even better. But I feel like it'll be an honour to see Sam Wilson's Captain America be the one that, you know, fights with and then teams up with the X-Men. You know, I don't know. Honestly, this conflict could be. I don't know. Maybe it is secretly an Avengers versus X-Men film, and it's only until the very end when they all lose, much like Civil War. You know, that, you know, Doom was the real villain. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't see it being the case. I think it could be that Doom like sets them up to fight at the start. Maybe midway through they all realise, hang on a minute, we need to lock in and stop Doom. But if Doom is capturing the kids of these heroes, then maybe it's like early on where they realise. I do think we're going to get a bit of a tussle between the Avengers and the X-Men, much like we did with the Guardians and the Avengers, but I think this one might be a bit bigger, to be fair. I can see this one being quite a big set piece. Avengers versus X-Men fight. I think that, I mean, I'm all for it. I wouldn't take sides, much like I didn't in the Civil War conflict. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. I did kind of root for Steve a bit, but now as I've gotten older, I just realised that, you know, they were both right and they were both wrong. So yeah, I just think that it would be a nice little homage to Civil War as well, which did come out 10 years ago. And it's crazy to think about, actually, because that film, in my opinion, was the it was kind of the beginning of the end for Marvel as we knew it. You know, the Avengers lost. It set up Infinity War much better. Hot take here, I consider Civil War to be an essential Avengers film. I know it is a Captain America film and Steve Rogers is the lead, it is Steve's story, but you can't tell me that doesn't set up Infinity War more than Age of Ultron does, you know? Oh, that was a cool little takedown from Rogue, fair play. But Civil War, in my opinion, it's an Avengers film. And I think what would benefit Doomsday is if they kind of pay off a bit of that conflict a bit and be like, well, hang on a minute, we can't be apart because what happened last time we were apart, we lost. But maybe the irony of it is, and the heartbreak of it, is they unite after a fight and then they lose anyway. I think that would be just devastating. But yeah, I kind of hope that it happens. I want to see an Avengers vs X-Men fight. I mean, I'm a Lego fan. Imagine the dioramas that will be made of that, the sets that will be made of that. Avengers vs X-Men. I personally feel like it's likely that we wouldn't. Oh, that's a good ult. I feel like it's likely we wouldn't get, you know. Oh, that was good. Oh, nice. I feel like it's likely we wouldn't get a, like Thor appearing in Avengers vs X-Men, because I feel like Thor's going to be locked in trying to hunt down Doom and find Loki. But hey, if Thor's in it, then I think that's kind of unfair for the X-Men, because I love them, but I don't think they could take on Thor. That's me personally. I don't. Thor with Stormbreaker calling upon the Odin Force, I don't think the X-Men stand much of a chance, and I feel awful saying that, but that's just how I feel. You know, But yeah, we're gonna play with. Who we're gonna play with?
I'm not the type who fades quietly into the background. The battle starts in 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens with
Try to make it yours.
with Doomsday now. That tease at the X Mansion as well. Seeing the X Mansion again, it's made me really want the modular building, which is annoying because I said if I was going to buy a Lego like modular this year, it was going to be only Avengers Tower, because as you know, I mean, I can barely afford Avengers Tower, but to add the, you know, I now really want. I mean, I always wanted it, but I now want the X Mansion more from the trailer. It's like, don't do this to me, Lego, please. Or don't do this to me, Marvel. You know, you've already put out a set that is my most wanted set. Don't make me want. I mean, I missed out on the Daily Bugle, so you know, I knew Lego Talk was going to come at some point. Speaking of which, I really hope we get a Avengers versus X-Men diorama if they do fight. Kind of like, I don't like the Civil War one, but I would buy it. I just don't like it because the minifig is shit. The actual build is not that good. You know, the build's not that great. I can't lie. It's just a blocky airport, and Giant Man doesn't look that great. But I'd take an Avengers versus X-Men one. However, I personally think that if they fight, they gotta brawl it out on the streets of New York, man. Evacuate the city, engage all defenses, and get Steve Rogers another shield. Because if the Avengers and X-Men are gonna fight, then it's gotta be on like their home turf. Like, it's gotta be. I just think it'll be so sick. Like, imagine like the first trailer, and we get like this shot of Sam Wilson and Scott Summers brawling it out on the streets of New York. Maybe I mean, I'm being biased here because I love Times Square, but imagine like they're fighting in Times Square, and then like Sentry pulls out a like rips off one of the billboards and tries to go at Nightcrawler, but then Nightcrawler bamps out the way, and then I don't know. There's so many cool things that the movie could do. I think the action in this movie is on such a high standard of being the best it's ever been. Like, I want to see coordinated attacks from the X-Men. I want to see the Avengers, you know, get their shit together and work together and struggle as well. I want to see the Avengers struggle, because these guys, they're not the original six. You know, they've not fought Ultron, they've not fought Thanos the first time around. I mean, some of them did, but they got bodied. I want to see the Avengers that, you know, fought Loki, you know, with their coordinated attacks and won because they fought as a team. I want to see the Avengers learn to do that, but not get it right straight away. Just because I don't like it when they're automatically good at something. This is one of the issues I have with Star Wars, because characters are just automatically good at everything, and it's like, it diminishes the investment. Like, it diminishes the investment and the want to see these guys do well. The X-Men, in my opinion, well, these guys have been fighting together for decades now. They have, you know, they're going to be good, they're going to be coordinated. But for a new team, like Sam's new Avengers, like the, you know, the Bucky's new Avengers, they're still coming together as a team. They're still learning how to fight together as a team. I don't think, you know, I don't think it should be a case where they're just naturally good at everything. Hell, if they gave, if not to jump to Star Wars for a minute, well, kind of, if they spent more time trying to perfect Rey, and have Rey actually train, she'd have been amazing. She'd have been a great character. But, you know, with this team, I want to see Sam and Yelena argue and work stuff out, and then the X-Men almost teach them how to be a team, because the original Avengers, they're gone. You know, I don't think Thor's going to be as involved with the new Avengers team. I mean, he's on the new Avengers team, but I don't think he's going to be like as much of a member. And maybe it's that team that fight Doom, but I don't see Thor being in the Doom fight, or not. Sorry, being in the AVX fight if there is one. You know, I foresee an AVX fight. I want there to be an AVX fight. You know, maybe that's before Thor and Loki actually join. I feel like Thor and Loki are going to reunite before they join the Avengers team again. You know, I just have this gut feeling that they're gonna fight, or they're gonna, you know, reunite and then be like, right, okay, we need to. And then whilst they're reuniting, that's when the Avengers and X-Men fight. And I want that to be a sick fight as well. I want it to be a fight that everyone talks about for decades, because they are the most. I mean, the Avengers, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four. They are Marvel's like big three teams, all in one movie for the first time ever. You know, all you have to do is throw Spider-Man in the mix, and you've got basically Ultimate Alliance, the movie. I seriously think that if they fight, it's got to be like, it's got to be on the same sort of scale as the Endgame final battle, and this could be like during Act 2 of the movie. I honestly think it's going to be insane. I really want this to be one of the best scenes in Marvel history, seeing the Avengers and X-Men fight each other for the first time ever. We've got to bear in mind that whilst they're not doing an AVX film where the whole conflict is Avengers versus X-Men, there's still got to be something in there. You know, these are very different groups. They obviously, yeah, they might grow to like each other, but this is not like your typical, you know, derby, like football derby. These two groups have completely different morals. Like the Avengers, like the X-Men, are victims of oppression. They are victims of discrimination. The Avengers won't understand that to the extent that the X-Men do, and I really hope that hits, that, you know, and it's the Avengers, they start to realise, hang on a minute, these guys, they're treated like utter shite, and that's the thing that brings both teams together. It brings all three teams together, actually, because you've got to bear in mind as well, Fantastic Four, they're celebrities. You know, they're never getting oppressed. Everyone loves the Fantastic Four. But the X-Men are the ones that are constantly put down. They're the underdogs of the Marvel Universe. So having them, you know, be the ones to teach the Avengers how to fight together, and ultimately having the Avengers stand by them, all while Doctor Doom is, you know, just causing absolute chaos. And I obviously, it goes without saying that Doomsday is going to be a very, I mean, it is Doom's movie. Doom is going to be the you know, the main character, much like how Thanos was in Infinity War. But this one, I just feel like it's going to be so much more personal, for Doom at least. And maybe it's because Doom has met the X-Men or the Fantastic Four, or, you know, Doom observed the sacred timeline, you know, before Kang did, or whatever they're going to do. I don't know. I'm not writing the movie. I couldn't write a movie like this. Stephen McFeely has got, you know, he's got a massive job ahead of him. He's got a bigger job than he had in Endgame, because Endgame was all conclusive. This is how you set up the end, much like Infinity War. And I think Infinity War worked because the film was so sort of fast-paced. You needed the 2.5 hours because it was moving at such a rapid speed, because there was so much they had to do, you know. And I think the movie's going to have to be quite a fast pace. Oh my god, this is absolute chaos. I can't wait for Avengers Doomsday, man. Like, I love the Avengers films, I love the Avengers franchise, I love the original 6, but, you know, And bearing in mind as well that the next film before this is a Spider-Man one. I love Spider-Man. Like, this entire year for Marvel, in my opinion, is... I really hope it's going to be the best one yet. You know, we've got return characters that everyone wants. Steve Rogers back, Doom is returning. There's so many amazing characters all back in this year. Plus you got Born Again Season 2, you got this Punisher special, X-Men 97 is back. Like, this year, I really hope is Marvel's best ever year. Because I don't, you know, unless Secret Wars just blows everything they've got out the water next year, I don't foresee how you can top the lineup for this year with Marvel. I really hope that this year is one for to remember, and that everything they put out is great. Maybe not, you know, Wonder Man might let a few people down. I'm not massively looking forward to it. I hate to say it, but I'm not massively excited for Vision Quest. I think Agatha all along really put me off. But at the same time, I love Vision. I think he's a great character. I'm willing to give him a go. Plus, I did really enjoy WandaVision as well, so I'm willing to, you know, see it through just for that. And hopefully we get a Wanda and Vision reunion, because I love Wanda. She's a character that I think needs to be back in Doomsday, but I doubt it. I do doubt we're going to get Wanda back. I think... Oh god. I do think Wanda's story is, you know, I don't know where I can go with it without pissing people off. And, you know, rather than pissing people off, just, you know, shit. Sorry, I have a bit of a runny nose as well. To be honest, I'm not feeling 100%, so I might pull the stream early. You know, I've come back to uni. All of my plans have been thwarted because of the snow. We're snowed in at the moment. I really want to go and get some work done, go shopping. I don't want to get another takeaway. I really don't. I want to actually cook something, and then thought I'd say that. But, okay, not good. But yeah, Come on. Okay, I'm kind of locked in here. So apologies if I'm not as sneaking here. I might be able to catch some people. Oh no, they've got a rocket ult. Yeah. Let me know in the chat what you guys are thinking about Doomsday, because honestly, I haven't been this excited for a film probably since Endgame. I mean, I've been excited for other films like Spider-Man: No Way Home. You know, oh my god.
Your powers at work! Supernova!
Oh my god. Oh, we've got an Emma causing problems. Yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking about Doomsday, because I'm astronomically excited for it. You know, I'm hoping... I hope Doomsday is that good it actually leaves me like sobbing from happiness. I've not had that for a film in a while. I think the last one I could say I was like properly sobbing to was Guardians 3. You know, that one is gotta be... Oh, just make me weak for that one. I love Guardians 3. I want to be sobbing even more than I want for Guardians 3. I want all the feels. Yeah, speaking of which, I want a new Guardians game as well. I love the Guardians game, but apparently it didn't do that well, which I'm pretty sad about, because I loved it. Oh, Ah, we lost. Okay. Right, I'm going to call it here because I'm starting to feel a little bit run down. I can't lie. I genuinely don't feel too good. I think... I don't know. I might just be a bit bummed up, but it's fine. We move. Also, this stupid stick drift is driving me insane. But yeah. The X-Men will return in Avengers Doomsday. And I cannot wait. That is going to be it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. Stay humble. I'll see you all soon. Peace out. Bye-bye. Oh, when it stops being a dildo. Bye-bye.